Nigeria renews currency swap deal with China. DHQ issues fresh claims on Sako airstrikes that killed scores. PDP stakeholders in fresh clash as pro-Wike party executive refuses to vacate seats. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. We begin from stories outside the shores of Nigeria, where Azerbaijan Airlines has disclosed that the preliminary result of an investigation into the crash of its plane in Kazakhstan on the 25th of December have blamed physical and technical external interference. 38 people unfortunately died when the Embraer jet came down at high speed, bursting into flames 3 kilometers, which is about 1.9 miles short of the runway at Aktau Airport. The plane had originally tried to land at Grozny Airport in southern Russia, but witnesses have spoken of an explosion before it was diverted across the Caspian Sea to Kazakhstan. The head of Russia's Civil Aviation Agency disclosed today that the situation in the Chechen capital was very complicated and that a closed sky protocol has been put in place. While in Estonia, the NATO has said it will enhance its military presence in the Baltic Sea, and Estonia has sent a patrol ship to protect its Estlink 1 undersea power cable after Russia was accused of sabotaging its main power link in the Gulf of Finland. A ship named as Eagle S is suspected of damaging the Estlink 2 cable, and Finnish Coast Guard crew have boarded the oil tanker and steered it into Finnish waters. The EU said the Eagle S was part of Russia's shadow fleet, and the failure of the undersea cable was the latest in a series of suspected attacks on critical infrastructure. Estonian Defense Minister Hanno Pevkur said the Raju has set sail early today, and he believed Finland would join the operation to protect the remaining cable. He told Estonian public radio that the Raju's task was to ensure that nothing happens there and that critical connection with Finland remains operational. The Kremlin has denied to comment on the damage to the cable, describing it as a very narrow issue and not an issue for the Russian presidency. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said on social media that he had spoken to Finland's President Alexander Stubb, adding that NATO would boost its presence in the Baltic. A further statement by the alliance said only that NATO remains vigilant and is working to provide further proof. Finland and Estonia are both NATO members, and Estonian Prime Minister Kristen Michael told public television that if necessary, they would invoke Article 4 of the NATO Treaty, which involves consultation if any member state feels threatened. While back home in Nigeria, in a very recent development, Nigeria and China have renewed the currency swap agreement between both countries. VOP News understands the renewal is valid for 3 years and can be renewed upon mutual consent. The special advisor to President Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who shared the information in his social media account, said China's central bank confirmed today that it has renewed a bilateral currency swap agreement with the Central Bank of Nigeria. The total value of the agreement is 15 billion won, which is about 2.09 billion US dollars or 3.28 trillion Nigerian naira. The People's Bank of China disclosed in a very recent statement on its website. It said that a renewal of the currency swap arrangement will strengthen financial cooperation between China and Nigeria, expand the use of the two currencies, and promote and facilitate bilateral trade and investment. You would also recall that back in 2018, the Central Bank of Nigeria and its Chinese counterpart signed a currency swap deal after 2 years of negotiations between the two countries. The deal, valued at about $2.5 billion, is aimed at providing adequate local currency liquidity to Nigerian and Chinese industrialists and other businesses, thereby reducing the difficulties encountered in the search for third currencies. The move is also aimed at facilitating bilateral trade and investment and promoting the financial stability of both countries. In a recent development, Nigeria has denied accusations from Niger's military leader, Brigadier General Abdulrahman Tchiani, of colluding with France to destabilize the junta-led nation. In a Christmas Day interview, General Tchiani accused France of allying with militant groups in the Lake Chad region to undermine Niger's security, allegedly with Nigeria's knowledge. Nigerian authorities are not unaware of this underhanded move, according to General Tchiani. In response, Nigeria's National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, disclosed to the BBC Hausa that the allegations were baseless and false. Mr. Ribadu said Nigeria would never sabotage Niger or allow any disaster to befall it. Nigeria's Information Minister, Mohammed Idris, said the allegations were unfounded and a diversionary tactic aimed at covering his administration's failures. These claims exist solely in the realm of imagination. Nigeria has never engaged in any alliance, overt or covert, with France or any other country to destabilize Niger Republic. Now, Idris also denied sabotaging Niger's pipeline and agriculture, which it was accused of. General Tchiani's allegations have worsened diplomatic tensions with Nigeria, already strained since the 2023 military coup that ousted ex-President Mohamed Bazoum. West Africa's regional bloc, ECOWAS, led by Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, imposed economic sanctions on Niger and threatened military intervention if constitutional order was not restored. ECOWAS came to Nigeria's defense in a statement on Thursday, refuting the claims. 2 weeks ago, ECOWAS approved the withdrawal of 3 military-led countries, including Niger, after they refused to restore democratic rule. Since the coup, Niger has urged France and other Western powers to withdraw their military bases and formed a security alliance with junta-led neighbors Mali and Burkina Faso. Now, in a very recent exposure, the defense headquarters today described the recent airstrikes that resulted in the death of many in Sako State as secondary explosions. The government of Sako State had earlier claimed that 10 villagers were killed and others injured after airstrikes in the Salame local government area of the state. However, in a statement issued today, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said the death and injuries were due to secondary explosions and not a direct result of the airstrikes. Earlier on Thursday, you will recall that the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, insisted that the military only bombed terrorists and criminals in Sako State. General Musa, who spoke when he visited Sako State amidst the controversy surrounding an airstrike targeted against Lakurawa terrorists, submitted that those targeted were terrorists and anyone found with them during the airstrike was an accomplice. Also, fighter jet had bombed 2 communities in Salame local government area of the state just on Wednesday, killing at least 10 civilians and injuring several others. The Sako State government claimed that some of those killed in the strikes were innocent villagers, while the military insisted that the strike was against criminals. The Chief of Defense Staff, while briefing newsmen at the Ginjinya Cantonment Sakoto during a visit on Thursday, insisted the military airstrike was targeted at terrorists, but also added that an investigation would be launched into the matter. And now to party politics. The ongoing leadership crisis in the People's Democratic Party has taken a new turn, with party stakeholders clashing over the national secretary position. The controversy stems from a recent ruling by the Court of Appeal in Enugu, which upheld an earlier Federal High Court decision removing Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the party's national secretary and declaring Mr. Ude Okoye as the rightful occupant of the position. The opinions gather that the dispute began in 2023 when Southeast PDP stakeholders selected Ude Okoye to replace Anyanwu, who vacated his seat to contest the Imo State governorship election under the party's platform after losing the election to Governor Hope Uzodinma of the All
Which case, making mess of all their efforts. And that was why a lot of them pulled out. America, Israel, Britain, France, many of them pulled out. Then when they pulled out, we now have the joint multinational task force along the Chad basin, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Mali. Now, Niger, in fact, even the former president of Chad had the same complaint that he was leading from the front, the Idris Deby, that he was leading from the front, and he was not getting commensurate result from Nigerian end. Mohamed Bazoum, the former president of Niger, also gave such complaint, but because his government was not stable, he couldn't voice it out because he was getting support and cover and cooperation from the Nigerian government. Now, the junta in Niger has even threatened that they would pull out from any form of security engagement or bilateral cooperation with Nigeria. Why did they do so? Because they felt that their efforts are not commensurately supported by the Nigerian end. And what is happening, because so many people, even within the Nigerian territory, some of the generals who lead the battle against terrorism have cried out about underhand dealings that they are receiving at the war front.
All right.
In which case, that
All right.
there is a lot of hypocrisy in the process. And there's a lot of undermining of their efforts.
Okay.
Where is this coming from? That is what Nigerians will be asking.
Now,
that even despite all the huge money budgeted for the fight against terror, despite all the equipment procured for the military, we still have not defeated terrorism in the northeast and the northwest. Even the north central is still not free.
Barrister Fred in Sako, it's quite unfortunate with this development. I would like us to round up on this particular topic to move to the next one. So here is the thing. While Tinubu was speaking, he mentioned certain locations in Nigeria where he was saying that Nigeria had some links with France, locations. He mentioned specific locations during the allegations, suggesting detailed knowledge of the country, meaning that Tinubu, Niger's president or military administrator, seems to know very well certain areas within Nigeria. Now, Nuhu Ribadu, who was saying that denying most of the things he said, or actually, calling it propaganda or false, is telling us that there will be an investigation into allegations of foreign presence in Nigeria. So are we saying that you do not know about some of these things the Niger military administrator is disclosing about our country, that you need to launch a special investigation into it? And why not outrightly deny most of the things the Niger president said about specific details of activities going on in those locations that were mentioned, talking about the foreign presence related to France, rather than saying you want to set up an investigation? Does that not make it seem like our military department was do not really are well equipped when it comes to?
And for the leadership of Niger, it really means that the government must take it very seriously and ransack every nook and cranny of the country and find out exactly what is happening. And if eventually that is the truth, then it is a very embarrassing one to the government of Nigeria. So the National Security Advisor should walk his talk by ensuring that such investigation is diligently prosecuted so that we will know where we are, because Nigeria is big, yes, but not too big not to be policed or not to be noticed when there is anything springing up from any part of the country. So such investigation will let us know where we are, and the government should take it very seriously. Because the non-state actors are getting too many.
Yes, exactly.
Because the state actors themselves seem not to be adequately handling the security of lives and properties of the people.
It's quite unfortunate. A couple of persons may, link some conspiracy theories to the continuous presence of these non-state actors and that are perpetrating insecurity and mayhem and, displacing persons within their place of origin. Barrister Fred, the president has disclosed to us that his main priority remains national security and economic transformation. In fact, this statement was made by his vice, Kashim Shettima, during the federal government's disclosing the federal government's dedication to, transforming the economy and securing Nigeria to enable foreign and bilateral investment opportunities in the country. He also disclosed that there is an unwavering focus on these critical areas as the country looks forward to the dawn of a new year. Now, one of my correspondents went to the market to ask questions, right, on how much certain food items cost and if persons are purchasing these items and if they're actually selling as they would. And they actually gave disappointing expressions and reactions. They say things have become so expensive, unaffordable. The purchasing limit of the people has reduced drastically. They just buy very little, what they can just eat for the moment. And a lot of their produce is, it's still in surplus, as in where they kept it. Well, we know this is dirty December. A lot of persons will buy stuff, but it is not as much as they usually get when customers come to the market. What do you think the federal government should do about food, being the fact that that is a priority of any nation? Once you have a healthy population, then you're supposed to have a productive population. What's your take on that?
It is very obvious. It goes without saying that security is the main object of government. Security of lives and properties of the people is the reason why government exists. And that should be government's number one priority. And part of the security we talk about includes food security. And a hungry population is an angry population, and a hungry population is an unpatriotic population. It is very easy for people to fall for crime when they are poor, when they are hungry, and then they are hopeless and desperate. It's very easy. And that is why in any country, we are potentially very high. All manner of crimes in all dimensions. And that's exactly what we are seeing in Nigeria. Because even people who ordinarily would have resisted the lure of criminality would fall for crime just for them to feed. Just for them to feed. Because of the desperation and the poverty in the land. One of the critical things government must do is not to always spend humongous amount of money in hardcore military security and military hardware. In fact, there are some economics that believe that you may not need to spend so much money in your military if you have spent enough money in your agri sector and in your food security. At least with that, when you secure your people food-wise, you have an army of patriotic citizens that can be very easily enlisted to fight for the country when the time and the need arises.
All right.
But if the people are poor and hungry, no matter what you put in military hardware, they will just be there and they will rotting away without being utilized. Because the slightest provocation, the people would abandon the country. So what is important for government to think as we enter into 2025 is to plan on how to provide food for our people. Invest in agriculture, invest in farming, invest in food holding, invest in storage capacity so that we will have food round the clock and ensure that the population is fed. That should be the primary concern of government while doing any other thing as listed in our budget. But I think food is the most critical requirement of Nigerian people as at this moment.
Barrister Fred and Sako, let's move on to some political activities within Nigeria's political landscape. The conversation is on Nyesom Wike. Now, during the presidential media chat, the president has actually said that Nyesom Wike is a gold mine. He gave him a couple of emoluments. In fact, the embellishments were quite owing, Nigerians have a different purview of the FCT minister. A couple of persons have called him a land grabber. They've said he is somebody who has been earmarked, given a mandate somehow to create some form of instability in Rivers State, possibly because things did not go the way he wanted. The president said that Nigerians lack compliance. They don't like to comply. So they have compliance issues, and that Nyesom Wike should be allowed to do his work. Now, we now heard Nyesom Wike say something that he does not regret supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2023 elections. Now, a couple of political theorists have come out to say that this is Nyesom Wike telling us officially that indeed he worked it out in Rivers State for the president to emerge, or the APC to win in the presidential elections in 2023, despite all his denial that he had no influence whatsoever in ensuring that Rivers goes to the APC. Now, aside from that particular statement, he said he will continue to work with the president, not regretting working with the president. And very recently, we saw photos of him and his sons who went to visit the president at his home in Ikoyi, Lagos, in Borderland. Now, this actually says that possibly Nyesom Wike has the support of the president in most of the activities he's carrying out in Abuja, as well as his involvement in some political issues in Rivers. So how do we place this relationship, and what is the end goal?
Well, the end goal is politics. End goal is self-survival. End goal is self-aggrandizement. The least of it is an interest of Nigeria. that becomes the least. What is uppermost in the minds of some politicians is their selfish interest, how to continue, remain in power, grab more power for what it is worth, enrich themselves, enrich their cronies, family, friends, and relations. That is primary, basic primary interest. There's no way some Wike will regret supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu because his support has paid him. If he didn't support Tinubu by today, what will he be doing? He would be unemployed. He'd be jobless. But he supported Tinubu, undermined his party, stabbed everybody at the back, and he has been rewarded very handsomely with such a position like that of FCT minister. There are 6 local government areas in Abuja, in FCT, 6 big, you call them council areas. There are 8 local governments in Bayelsa. So more or less, Nyesom Wike is running as a governor. It's an extension of his style of leadership as a governor. And Bola Tinubu has given him all the space, all the time, and all the free hand to operate. And possibly he is doing the bidding of Mr. President, whatever such bidding is, and that is why Mr. President does not we always eulogize him. When Nyesom Wike continued to give problem in his home state in Rivers, the elders of Rivers State had asked the president to call him to order. Do you think he had heeded to such advice?
No.
The best Mr. President did was to call them for a meeting that yielded no result.
Exactly, and since then he's been mute on the quagmire in Rivers.
And ended up in the fume of politics. So between the two of them, they know what they are doing. And between the two of them, I think it's a matter of you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
So what is the PDP doing about this?
People can cry for what they like.
Why has the PDP refused to impose sanctions on Nyesom Wike? Why have they refused to impose sanctions? What are they afraid of? Is it now true, based by what conspirators are saying, that the PDP is an extension of the APC? Is it now true that the PDP is an extension of the APC? Because it's obvious that these are anti-party activities being perpetrated by the FCT minister. If you're showing support to the president, no doubt you're the FCT minister, you have your responsibility. Obviously, the president is your principal. But obviously, persons will say that you have been on a trail of anti-party activities. Why has the PDP been mum? What is going on with the PDP leadership? Where is Damagum in all of this? Where are the PDP executives? Where is Atiku Abubakar? Why is nobody saying anything? So are we saying now that the PDP is now moribund to the whims and caprices of the APC members or some moles who have been installed by certain other political parties presently in the APC? What exactly is going on within the PDP that they have kept mum in the case of Nyesom Wike?
You need to understand the nature of Nigerian politics for you to say that PDP is an extension of APC.
That's how it seems. That's what a lot of people are saying PDP, because of the activities PDP, lately.
No, PDP is not an extension of APC. Rather, some leaders of PDP who are very finely positioned are Nyesom Wike's acolytes and Men Friday. So whatever Nyesom Wike does, they cannot sanction him. Sanction comes from the leadership. If that leadership is in tune with the man who you wanted to sanction, then the sanction can never come. PDP left somebody like Nyesom Wike and went and sanctioned Dino Melaye. That tells you the dynamics of the politics that is playing out in PDP. Uma Ilia Damagun was planted by Nyesom Wike. Many of the members of the National Working Committee were planted by Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike had a time when he had a lot of control of the hierarchy of the party and used the opportunity to put in his own men towards 2023 election. And when it didn't go his way, he now still used the same men to work the interests of PDP. And PDP lost the 2023 election. And the rest is history. Now he has moved on with APC, with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And now he claimed that it is a government of national unity, where he is the only beneficiary of such unity, and still working with APC, and still had his legs inside PDP. The men who are supposed to give him the sanction are the men who are working for him. So how can the sanction come? And that is why some others are struggling to save the soul of PDP so that they can restore that soul from the clutches of Yeson Wike. Don't forget that working now with the APC, he now has further authority in terms of anytime he wants to utilize the security agencies to cause discomfort to the party, they will be at his beck and call. That is the nature of Nigerian politics. In all of this, you look at where is the development of the country, you can't find it. Where are the interests of the people? You can't find it. Where is the development of our political structures such that we will now continue to enhance our political jurisprudence and political development? You can't find it. Everything is built around selfish interest and the personal interest. That is the reality of the now, and it is extremely very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, Barrister Fred and Sako. Thank you so much. You've actually exceeded the required duration for the world news, but thank you for staying on because we needed quite a lot of clarifications, and most of these information, are on the news. I sincerely do appreciate your input, Barrister Fred and Sako. Once again, compliments of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now to wrap up the world news at 6, here again are the top stories. We'll start from stories outside the shores of Nigeria, where Azerbaijan airline has blamed external interference for plane crash. Estonian Navy to protect undersea power link after main cable got damaged. Nigeria renews currency swap deal with China. DHQ issues fresh claims on sabotage airstrikes that killed scores. PDP stakeholders in fresh clash as pro-Wike party executive refused to vacate seats. That's a wrap on the world news at 6. My name is Esther. Onwachiku compliments of the season once again. Thank you for listening.
The Fidelity Get Alert in Millions promo is back. Game 6 is here with 159 million naira up for grabs. Here's your chance to become a millionaire. To qualify, save 5,000 naira and make use of our e-channels, mobile app, *770# or debit card. Stand a chance to win 1 million naira in the monthly draw and 2 million, 5 million or 10 million naira in the grand draw. For every 5,000 naira you save and the more you transact, the bigger your chances.
Everywhere you go, everywhere you go, everybody go,